Now at 4, emergency evacuation. The weight of the snow on an Amazon warehouse in Berks County had employees running out into the cold. This while other neighborhoods continue the back-breaking process of digging out from 2 days worth of snow. Wednesday afternoon, I'm Sarah Bloomquist.
And I'm Rick Williams in for Brian Taft. The big story on Action News is the lingering effects of the snowstorm and the cleanup that continues around the region.
Chopper 6 flew around town today, giving us a nice view over Boathouse Row, and there were plenty of people having a good time sledding here on Belmont Plateau in Fairmount Park.
Many neighborhoods, especially northwest of the city, still have a lot of work to do, though. Action News reporter Katie Katro is live in Reading this afternoon with a look at how things are going there. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Rick and Sarah. So many people here in Reading have these tools in their hands today because they are still digging out. You can even see I'm pretty much in the snow here on the side of the road. Okay, you see this car? I don't know whose car this is, but I'm going to help them out. But it is pretty tough to get the snow off of here. And because of this snow has caused a lot of issues around Berks County today. More than 200 employees at the Amazon fulfillment warehouse in Muhlenberg Township had to be evacuated this morning because the weight of the snow on the roof became a structural issue. Over in Reading, the city got hit with around 2 feet of snow, which means days of digging out.
It's cold and I'm exhausted. And I'd very much rather be in my house.
Many people have been putting it off.
When I looked out and realized that we had to come out and get it all off the car, then I was like, that's a lot of snow. But at first I was like, I don't got to deal with it.
You can tell a lot of people in this neighborhood have the same thought process by the rows of cars still under snow.
Nobody's moving. Nobody's moving, you know?
However, many say the plow trucks haven't helped them.
Basically, they come through and they push the snow basically back onto the cars.
Michelle Flores says she called in a third party to help clear the walkways around her complex, but says there's a stark contrast between what the roadways look like.
There's nowhere to go with the snow, so we want to get the streets clean, but of course residents need to get their cars out, so there's just nowhere to put the snow.
And back out here live, you can see most of the roadways here in Reading are pretty narrow as it is. So with snow added to that, well, that just makes travel that much more difficult. So, Rick, I'm going to stay out here in Reading. I'm going to continue to help this person clear the snow off of their car. I'll send it back to you. I'm live in Reading, Katie Katro, Channel 6, Action News. I do charge, by the way. This person's going to have to pay for this.
I was going to ask you to help me with mine, but never mind, Katie. Thank you very much.
$800.
All right, Katie, all right, your time's up. All right, now turning to the AccuWeather forecast, looking live from Sky 6 now at the Penn's Landing and the Ben Franklin Bridge. Cloudy skies for your Wednesday, although there were some peaks of sunshine. But this is what we're looking at as we head into midweek of what has been kind of a long weekend weather-wise. Meteorologist Adam Joseph is joining us from home now with more. Did you see some sunshine from your basement today, Adam?
You know, I did. All of a sudden, it was like really bright down here, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is that blinding me? And it was the sun coming through the windows. So, yes, it is going to be returning, and I like that gentleman's honesty in Katie's piece saying, ugh, this is a lot of snow. But those folks enjoying it there at Spring Mountain Live on Sky 6. We did have some flakes still in the air today as the last bit of energy rotating through. You can see a couple of flakes north of Philadelphia, west into Chester County. And as we widen out here, again, there has been a little bit of pops of blue here and there, but you can see the wall of clouds starting to move from the west to the east here, west of Harrisburg. And that is the clearing line, and it will be moving in overnight. But right now, wind chill 25 in Philadelphia, so it's still cold for those who are digging out farther to the north and west. 23 Buffalo, 21 Pittsburgh, 42 down in parts of Virginia. And as we look at future tracker wind chills, it is going to be still cold tomorrow morning. There will be a light breeze. So feeling like 17 Philadelphia, Trenton, 15 Reading and Allentown. And temps will drop below freezing tonight. So once again, like last night, you'll have that refreeze on anything that is not treated. So here are your headlines. Sun melting the snow tomorrow, a light mix north and west on Friday morning. Not a big deal, but something to watch. And then Super Bowl storm. Right now, it looks like it takes a wide right out to sea. We'll chat more about that and Friday coming up in that full AccuWeather forecast.
Okay, Adam, thank you. Turning now to the pandemic as vaccine clinics get back up and running in the tri-state area. Pennsylvania is getting ready for more doses to arrive at pharmacies, while Philadelphia is moving forward in hopes of leaving its vaccine controversy behind. Action News reporter Maggie Kent is live for us now at the Pennsylvania Convention Center with what you need to know. Maggie.
Sarah, after the Philly fighting COVID crisis, essentially, there were some local lawmakers calling for Dr. Farley, our health commissioner, to resign. The mayor today coming in front of cameras saying he's standing by Dr. Farley as they get a new vaccine clinic up and running.
They had everything organized. Everybody was going in their lines, and it was nice. I was surprised. When the city does stuff, sometimes it gets messed up.
With the opening of a health department-run vaccination site at the convention center, the city making good on its promise to provide second-dose vaccines to those who received their first shot from Philly fighting COVID.
Philly fighting COVID was a mistake, and it's been corrected, and we're moving on.
The mayor backing Health Commissioner Dr. Thomas Farley, who says his department is moving forward with additional vaccination sites.
Starting on the week of the 22nd, we're going to be running. Current plan is 3 new clinics per week and then 3 follow-up doses for 3 follow-up clinics per week moved around the city. And that'll go on as long as it's necessary.
Only 15% of the people vaccinated in Philadelphia so far are black. The mayor says both racial and economic equity is top of mind when deciding how Philadelphia vaccination sites will look.
The problem with mass drive-thrus is that people don't have cars, can't do it. And the other issue with mass drive-thrus, similar to testing, like that at the sports complex, was we had people coming from New Jersey and the counties and other places.
President Biden announcing vaccine allotments going directly to pharmacies. Philadelphia gets its own vaccine allotment separate from the rest of the state, but this new plan will eventually mean 36% of Pennsylvania's Moderna vaccine supply could be redistributed.
This will hopefully mean in the near future we can start to send those vaccines for other parts of our mission to vaccinate more eligible Pennsylvanians.
And speaking of pharmacies, here in Philadelphia, the health department says that 3 ShopRites and 20 Walgreens will begin their vaccinations at their locations throughout the city come at the end of this week. That's for people 75 and older. We're live at the convention center. Maggie Kent, Channel 6 Action News. Rick.
All right, Maggie, thank you. And don't forget, our Action News data journalism team has created a vaccine tracker for our area. It lets you follow the rollout and find doses near where you live. Just head to 6abc.com/vaxfacts.
Well, some optimistic news for New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy is changing some restrictions starting Friday. Restaurants will be able to be at 35% capacity for indoor dining, and they will be allowed to serve food past 10 p.m. The same 35% rule applies to gyms, casinos, and theaters. Action News' Gray Hall will have more details and reaction coming up on Action News at 5 o'clock.
Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf's 2021 budget proposal includes a personal income tax increase for high earners, that is, to boost public schools and help fill a multi-billion-dollar deficit created by the pandemic.
This isn't about pitting the rich against the poor and the middle class. This is about asking folks who have already made it to shoulder a little more of the burden so that folks who haven't made it yet have a better chance to do that.
Wolf, a Democrat, is asking the Republican-controlled legislature to pass the proposal, which also expands exemptions and tax forgiveness. If passed, a household of 4 earning above $50,000 but below $84,000 would see a tax cut. But households earning above $84,000 would pay more.
In North Philadelphia, police were called out to a particularly gruesome stabbing. They say 2 people have multiple injuries. Investigators found a woman in her 40s stabbed 9 times. She's in critical condition. A man in his 60s was also hospitalized with 16 stab wounds, but he's being held as a suspect. The incident happened at a rooming house on the 1400 block of West Allegheny Avenue. Philadelphia police released this surveillance video of the women wanted for a carjacking we told you about last week. 78-year-old Angelina Belisma was attacked just before 4:30 in the afternoon on January 27th in the 2700 block of South Smedley. 3 women sprayed Belisma with pepper spray, punched her, and took her keys and fled in her car. Belisma is undergoing cancer treatment. Take a closer look at the suspects' faces. Belisma's family told Action News they want to see these suspects get caught.
Well, with elbow bumps and thank yous, Governor Phil Murphy welcomed home New Jersey National Guard troops this afternoon. The members returned home after having spent a month in Washington, D.C. They were deployed following the attack on the Capitol back on January 6th.
As usual, we answered the bell, and the men and women of the National Guard served our nation's capital and made all 9 million of us in your New Jersey family incredibly proud.
New Jersey National Guard troops supported the Secret Service at the White House, also at the U.S. Capitol, and the Vice President's residence.
Time now for a check of the Action News traffic report Wednesday afternoon. Matt Pellman live at home now.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, road's not completely clear yet this afternoon, but we're making progress. Each day things get a little better and a little better, but we still have some people slipping and sliding along 202 northbound side in Chester County watching a crash. It's taking out the right lane, and as you look here, you can see how the snow that's on the shoulders kind of bleeds into those left lanes in both directions. So it could be a little wet, could be a little slippery perhaps, but the accident's northbound here as you head toward Chesterbrook and King of Prussia, taking out the right lane along 202. Had a crash on the Schuylkill eastbound here by South Street. It's long gone now. Westbound, still have the round-the-clock lane restriction. We got word today that because of the weather this week, they are not going to completely close the westbound side of the Schuylkill this weekend. That sounds like good news, right? Well, the bad news is that means they will not reopen that one lane on Monday like they were supposed to. So you've got longer now on that round-the-clock restriction on the westbound Schuylkill. Had a crash here, 95 northbound by Girard, now gone, but you can see it's still bottlenecked, traveling through the work zone, heading up toward the Betsy Ross Bridge. Disabled vehicle in Upper Dublin along Limekiln Pike. There's one in Lower Moreland along Turwood Road. Sounds like they're getting them both cleared out of the way, but you could see some disabled vehicles with the cold temperatures this afternoon. And here's 295 over the White Horse Pike in Barrington. Had a crash on the White Horse Pike. That too is gone, so traffic's moving better. We'll check it again, Rick, coming up in the next half hour.
All right, Matt, we'll see you then. Thank you. Much more still ahead on Action News Wednesday afternoon. An emotional tribute for the Capitol Hill police officer who lost his life during the riots January 6th. Also, nursing students help administer vaccines in Trenton. Details about the partnership that's providing life-changing help in more ways than one. And if you miss live sporting events and concerts, Alicia's here with some good news about one of our local venues. Hi, Alicia.
The Wells Fargo Center taking a major step toward welcoming fans back. I'll tell you how they earned a major health and safety distinction and what that means about the timeline for getting back in coming up.